Week 5 of the National Football League. And we've got the Vikings, rocket on quarterback. He's currently third in the NFL in passing yards. It's the Vikings and the Falcons, next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, it's been a lost first month of the season, that's for sure, as they come in with an 0-4 record.
And the window's not shut on them, though. They still have a chance to make.
The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They will be led out by the 6-foot lefty from Alabama. It's Tua Tagovailoa.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. Second down coming up. From the 47 now, they work with a 2nd and 7. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And a good push there defensively as they stop him at the 48. Gain of just 1. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. Tua going to throw. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack. The Falcons send out their punter. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Viking offense making their
snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Now it looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second. Well, the very first thing they told us, Charles, was we need to apply pressure early. And I would call that early pressure a nice sack to start the game.
And on the other sideline, I just have this image in my mind of the head coach on the headset with the offensive coordinator, asking him if that's exactly what he saw in his mind when he called that play. And if so, is it going to be like this all day? That's a tough one right there.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. Looking to throw. McKinley. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. And going deep for Hill. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Pass knocked away by Javon Holland. Here's 2nd and 10. You look at this defense for the Vikings. They were terrific a week ago in the win over the Lions.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? A gain there of 21 yards.
Oh, that was a pretty route right there because it's all about finding a window on a route like that. He lined up on his left, ran the deep in route over the middle, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Really good trust between quarterback and receiver. Really good completion.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Here's 3rd and 10.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they stop him short of the first, as he can only get to the 20. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. And this one is right through. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. And the Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
2nd and 5. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
We had a pretty good idea that they were going to pressure this young quarterback, and that's now 2 sacks here in the first quarter.
And yeah, this is a secret to exactly nobody, because if you're a rookie quarterback, you know you're going to see pressure. Defenses want to see how you're going to handle it, or if it forces you into making bad decisions. That's their goal.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
They set up the screen. Achane has it.
And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the 1st down. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line.
Now Tua not liking what he sees, so he's going to signal for a timeout. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. From the gun, it's Tua.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Clock running, under a minute to go now here in a fast-moving first quarter. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Well, they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Tua sets up to pass it. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they are looking at a 2nd and 5 situation. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Now Tua. Throw left side, complete. That's Brown. So nothing doing there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It'll go as a sack, a loss of 3, and in turn, it takes us to a 4th down. The Falcons send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going. Not only in the
Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Patton, the man in motion. 2nd and 15.
He finds his receiver left side. This is Patton. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
Back to throw. McKinley. Throw caught by Achane.
And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. A gain of 9, not enough, and it's 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return.
And it will be Falcon football.
So here are the Falcons to take over on offense.
They've dropped 4 straight games coming into this one, remember, but they have the lead here.
Here's Tua.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 2 yards, good enough for a first. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them. And boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Calling a gain of 6 on the play. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Looking to pass to him. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
The Falcons send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Throwing to start the drive. McKinley.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Off play action. McKinley. They'll roll him out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
And this offense on 3rd down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Off the play fake. McKinley. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And a fair catch called for and taken right on the midfield stripe. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd down and 7.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. 2nd quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. It's complete to Brown, right side. And almost, but not quite. Needed 10, he got 9. 4th down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. Tua setting up shop to throw again. Over the middle, complete. It's Brown. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. To throw again on second down. Tua out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. In motion, Hill. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Out route to Hill, complete.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll begin our tour of the trip up to Toronto, Canada, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Cordero Patterson, terrific in the victory, as his guys up their mark to 4-1 now. From there, we're off to check out another game. And as you see, they were winners earlier this afternoon. Keenan Allen, 3 touchdown passes as his guys stay unbeaten on the year. Finally, let's get right to the center of the U.S. map and check in on the Chiefs at home in Kansas City. And things didn't go so well as it was the visiting Raiders who come in and grab the victory. 16-10, the final. If you missed the first half, there's not much to get you caught up on. Just a lone field goal accounting for the entirety of the scoring. A 3-0 game to this point, as both defenses have been strong so far.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this 3rd quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this 3rd quarter.
And maybe time for this offense to really hit the reset button. They were shut out in the first half, but still, they're right in this game.
They certainly are. What I like about it is that you actually continue to play. You know, you just find a way to make a few plays yourself, and you noted it. Right there on the border in this game, they're not that far off. Find a play or two, and they could be very happy at that. Focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the shotgun.
Discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now.
And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
After the turnover, it's Tua. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hill. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up second down. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Tua going to throw.
Good work on the scamper by Tagovailoa. It's a first down.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain. So when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a first down.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might well go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
And the Falcons are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's first and goal. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. On second and goal. Tua got his tight end. That's complete. It's Brown. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2.
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is third and goal.
They'll try to run this one in. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. They lost a big chunk, 6 yards there, and it leads to fourth down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and the drive will wind up yielding 3.
Well, whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
And now out comes Minnesota.
Now, this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Defensively, they were in the 3-4. That O-line just dominated the D-line there.
Let's go with a verbal telestrator here because that D-line has a nose over the center, and it has a 2 defensive ends over the offensive tackles. That means the guards don't have anyone over the top of them. That creates a...
Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited thinking his guy was open that he made it easy for the defensive back to go get the football.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it first and 10.
Here's a handoff out of the gun.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. another shot here on the ground. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And this is going to be incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And this will stay a one-score game as the lead will hold at 6. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, and other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Second down and a little more than a yard here. Patting the man in motion. Off play action. McKinley. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Patton. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll look to throw again. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. They'll run for it with Achane. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. They'll run, Achane. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. McKinley to the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal.
Out is Jake Bates to try the field goal.
From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle.
Bates' kick is good.
And that will finish off this 3rd quarter of play. So it's a quarter that saw these two teams trade field goals here as we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play.
This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Falcons back out, getting set for this next drive. Fourth quarter, they cling to a 3-point lead after the field goal a moment ago, and it's certainly a very critical drive with still a good chunk of time remaining. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
If it runs him by right, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
In motion, the tight end. They're going to look to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
So a change of possession here on the punt.
And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. They go play action here on 1st down. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Well, he's got some breathing room. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year.
And the Vikings use the defensive breakdown to take the lead away here in the 4th.
Those are the types of plays in these moments they were hoping for from this young rookie, able to put him up here in the 4th quarter.
How about the kid? You just mentioned it, the 4th quarter. This is when you have to make those winning plays. That's what he just did. Doesn't ensure anything, but he certainly gave his team a heck of a chance, didn't he?
Right down the middle. That would make this a 4-point game. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings booming away. Escapes the defense.
We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the 4th quarter.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there. They'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
Well, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, offenses always try to be smart about when they're trying to dial up a screen to the running back because they understand you can only get to the well so many times in a game without the defense starting to anticipate the call.
And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
The Falcons send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3.
And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Throwing to start the drive. McKinley.
He'll dump this off to Achane.
Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of...
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks, pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 16. Back to throw. McKinley able to find the open man. That's complete. And all the way down to the 39. A big play there for Minnesota. 49 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
From the gun on 3rd down. McKinley over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gets him a 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And the catch made. It's Patton. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
And a quick throw here. That's complete. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down. Back to throw again. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Stevens. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. 9-yard line, 2nd and 6.
Up the middle, Achane.
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Now the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Vikings will add to their 4th quarter lead.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with him. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
The extra point splits the uprights, and that pushes the lead up to 11. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Atlanta regains possession of the football. And they have had problems getting the running game in gear as we look through some of their attempts from earlier. They have just not been able to match the physicality that this defense has shown. And their lack of success on the ground is a direct reflection of that.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And he is going to have a Falcons first down as he'll be marked down a yard or two past the marker following a gain of 6. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds here all the way down inside the 10.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
And his kick is indeed good, and that'll make this an 8-point game. So we're back to a one-score game, and now you figure we'll likely see an onside kick.
Yeah, they've only got the one timeout remaining, so I think they've got to take a chance at getting the ball back.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. The risk-reward of the onside kick, when you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. Falcons going to use their third and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. And they take a knee. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially in the fourth quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one. And in the end, that come-from-behind victory, they'll charge this one.
So for Minnesota, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, things aren't looking good. It'll be an 0-5 start. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.